Hello everyone. Welcome back to another Python tutorial. Today, we're going to dive deep into one of the most important data types in Python, strings. Strings are used to represent text, and there's something you'll be working with in almost every Python project. We'll be covering everything about strings, from basic usage to useful string methods, slicing, and even string formatting. By the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of how to work with strings efficiently in Python. Let's start with the basics. In Python, a string is a sequence of characters enclosed within single quotes or double quotes. So when you write hello, world, that's a string. Here, we've defined a string variable called greeting, and it holds the value hello, world. Notice we're using double quotes, but single quotes would work just as well in Python. Let's print this string to the console. To print the string, you need to place the variable in parentheses of print function as shown in the code. Now if we run the code, it gives the output hello world, as you can see in console. Now, let's talk about how to access individual characters in a string. Strings in Python are indexed, which means each character has a position. The first character is at index 0, the second at index 1, and so on. It is also important to note that the last character in the string has an index value -1. In this example, we've created a string name that holds the value Alice. To access the first character, we use name 0, which should give us first character, that is A, while index value -1 should give us the last character, that is character E. Let's print these values and see how it works. When we run this code, as expected, the print function gives the first and last character of the string. Now that we can access individual characters, let's move on to slicing. Slicing allows you to extract a portion of a string. You specify the start and end indices, and Python will return that part of the string. Here, we've defined a string full_name with the value John Doe. To extract the first name, we use full_name 0:4, which gives us John. Notice how Python includes the start index, 0, but stops just before the end index, 4. For the last name, we use full_name 5. Since we didn't specify an end index, Python returns everything from index 5 to the end of the string. Let's run the code and see the output. As expected, it gives the output John and Doe. Python provides a bunch of built-in methods that make working with strings super convenient. Let's look at some of the most commonly used string methods. These methods help you manipulate and analyze strings without writing a lot of code. Here, we have a string text that holds the value Python is awesome. The upper method converts all the characters in the string to uppercase, while the lower method converts them to lowercase. Let's run this and see how these methods work in action. As you can see, first print function gives uppercase sentence as expected, and second one gives lowercase sentence. We can also replace parts of a string using the replace method. In this example, we're replacing the word awesome with fantastic. Let's see the result by running the code. As you can see, the awesome is replaced with fantastic. Next, let's look at two useful methods, split and join. The split method breaks a string into a list of words, and the join method can take a list of strings and combine them back into a single string. In this case, we're splitting text into words and then joining them back together. Let's run the code and see the output. As expected, the first code gives the Python list with the individual words, while second code gives the join sentence. Let's move on to concatenating strings, which just means joining two or more strings together. In Python, you can do this with the plus operator. You can also repeat strings using the asterisk operator. In this example, we're joining the first _name and last _name variables to create a full name. Notice how we also add a space between them so that the names don't run together. Let's print the full name and see how it looks. As expected, it joined two words and gives the output John Doe. You can also repeat strings using the asterisk operator. In this case, we're taking the string ha and repeating it 3 times. Let's see what Python returns. On running the code, as shown in the output, the print function gives the output 3 times the word ha. Let's talk about one of the most useful features for working with strings, f-strings. These are a newer and more readable way to format strings in Python. In this example, we're using an f-string to include the variable's name and age directly inside the string. Just add an f before the string, and then place the variable names inside curly braces. This is much cleaner than concatenating strings with the plus operator. Let's run this and see how it looks. As shown in the output, it gives the sentence containing values of variables. In continuation of f-string, you can also format numbers with f-strings. In this example, we're displaying the value of pi but rounding it to 2 decimal places using .2f. This makes it easy to control how numbers are presented. As you can see, on running the code, the output displays the value of pi, 3.14. Let's talk about escape characters. Sometimes, you need to include special characters in your strings, like quotes or new lines. Escape characters let you do that. In Python, the backslash is used as an escape character. It allows you to include things like quotes, tabs, and new lines in your strings. Here, we're trying to include double quotes inside a string that's already using double quotes. To avoid a syntax error, we use the backslash before each quote inside the string. This tells Python to treat the quotes as part of the string, rather than ending it. Let's run the code. As you can see in the output, the double quotes got printed in string. In this example, we're using 2 different escape characters, \n for a new line, and \t for a tab, or indentation. The \n moves the text to a new line, and the \t indents it by adding a tab space. Let's print this out and see how it formats the text. See how the text is formatted with the new line and the indentation? Escape characters are really handy for controlling how your strings are displayed. Let's talk about how to reverse a string in Python. This is a common operation that can be done very easily using slicing. By specifying a step of -1 in the slice, we can reverse the order of characters in the string. In this example, we have a string text with the value Python. To reverse it, we use the slice notation text, ::-1. That tells Python to consider the entire string, and the -1 step means we're moving backwards through the string, effectively reversing it. Let's print the reversed underscore text and see the output. As you can see, the string Python has been reversed to NoTP. This simple slicing trick works with any string in Python, making it really easy to reverse text. Sometimes, you might need to check if a certain word or phrase exists within a string. Python makes this super easy using the in keyword. In this example, we have a string message that holds the sentence Python is a powerful language. We're checking if the word powerful is in this message using the in keyword. If the word is found, the program prints a message. Let's run this and see if the word powerful is present. As expected, the word is found, and the message is printed. This is a great way to quickly check if certain text is present in a string. For our final example, let's look at how to count how many times a specific substring appears in a string. Python has a built-in count method just for this. In this example, we're using the count method to count how many times the letter A appears in the string banana. The count method returns the number of occurrences of the substring, which we then print out. Let's run this and see how many times A shows up in banana. And there you go! The letter A appears 3 times in banana. This method is super useful when you need to analyze strings and check for repetitive patterns or characters. And that's a wrap for this tutorial on Python strings. We covered a lot today, from creating basic strings, slicing and indexing, using common string methods, formatting strings with f-strings, and handling escape characters. I hope this gives you a solid understanding of how to work with strings in Python. Strings are everywhere in programming, so mastering them will make you a much more effective coder. As always, feel free to ask any questions in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.